to business. To LeBron James. Again, I preface all this ahead of tomorrow's Undisputed. Sitting across the debate desk from my partner, my rival, my competitor, LeShannon Sharp. He has proclaimed LeBron James the GOAT, as in G-O-A-T, G period, O period, A period, T period, as in greatest of all time, as in greater than you-know-who. I just can't take it. I did cover Michael Jordan in Chicago. I know Michael Jordan. I'm in awe of Michael Jordan. He's the greatest competitor in any sport we have ever seen, and it's not even close. And I get somewhere between outraged and amused at LeShannon's repeated daily bombardment. Where's the GOAT mask? He's smoking a black and mild while he's got the GOAT mask on. I don't know. Maybe LeBron. I don't know what the subliminal message there is. As I said to LeShannon on the show the other day, again, you can see us from 9:30 to noon Eastern on Fox Sports 1, Undisputed. But I said to him the other day, are you trying to suggest that LeBron smokes too much? Michael Jordan did smoke cigars. You got me there. But is that why he's getting a little winded? I've never seen anything like this. I'm sorry. You can say I'm piling on, but I can't help it. The comparison is glaring. It's outrageous. It's mind-boggling that LeBron keeps getting tired during basketball games late in the season when you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's not that much left. I mean, silver platter for the King tonight in Boston against a team without Kyrie. They can't close. They got no closer. They struggled like just craziness to score a basket for a 7-minute stretch of game 2. I didn't think they'd ever get it home, and they did because the King ran out of gas. And tonight, they went another 6 or 7 minutes. They couldn't buy a hoop. Layups, jumpers, throwing it over the backboard, Terry Rozier. It was just laughably bad because there's no Kyrie and there's no Gordon Hayward. They don't even have Shane Larkin or Daniel Tice. And it's hard because they start a rookie, a second-year player, and a third-year player, and they couldn't close it. And it's just on this silver platter for the King to say, I got this. Nobody on Boston's roster can keep LeBron James from the rim. Nobody. You saw it, 4 or 5 times tonight where he could just spin in the lane and just gets to the glass easy and just lays it in. Marcus Morris, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, you name them, Al Horford. They can't cover LeBron James at the rim. Philly would have been a different story. Philly's got those 2 nuclear weapons in the lane. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, they're 7 feet tall and they can defend because they can time their jumps and they play with some nastiness. And LeBron, as we saw on March the 1st at Cleveland and then last week of the season, regular season at Philly, he has a hard time against those guys. They can discourage his shot at the rim. They can frustrate him. They can change his shot, and occasionally they can block his shot. But Boston can't. And here we go again. LeBron's tired. We've seen the stats come out, the second, third level stats. Forgive me, I don't have them off the top of my head right now because I'm still reeling from what I just saw. But LeBron is one of the slowest, what was he, bottom 3 slowest players in basketball because he rests so much on offense and defense where he just stands around a lot. And obviously he's, probably still top 10 with the ball in his hand running downhill, freight training toward the basket, just in overall speed, but obviously you're averaging his movement speed for a whole basketball game, and it's very low because he stands and watches a lot. And I tweeted before the game, so this isn't 2020 hypocritical hindsight. I tweeted, This is the one where you take care of business. You have them reeling. You have Boston on its heels. You expose them. You put them back in their place, their young place, their below average place to me offensively. They ranked 18th in the league in offense. That was with Kyrie Irving. So they don't have a closer. They don't have a big shot maker. I know Jason Tatum had a great game tonight for a kid, but we saw the Cavaliers defend at Cleveland in Game 3 and in Game 4. And the spearhead of that defense, the tone setter, the guy who inspires, who initiates, is LeBron James. 6 times in his career he's made first-team all-defense. This year, in the regular season, he ranked 309th in individual defensive win shares. That means 308 players played a little to a lot better defense than LeBron James played. I forget what he was going into this game. I should have looked it up, but it was like 59th just in the playoffs. So there are 50-odd players playing better defense than just in the playoffs. And it's mind-boggling to me that he admits he needs to rest. And the blind witnesses out there, all of his apologists and defenders in the media, they just go right along with it like, yeah, LeBron needs to rest because he's carrying such a heavy load. Baloney, he's carrying a heavy load. He's not. He's resting on offense. Tonight, he just took a pass on offense. I've never seen anything like it. Like down the stretch, that game was winnable. We just saw Golden State last night. Lost me a whole case of Diet Mountain Dew. First one I've lost, and I think I'd won 10 straight bets from Shannon Sharp. And I lost this one when I thought it was the easiest cinch bet I'd ever had in my life because Golden State was up 12 with 10:45 left at home over Houston, and you know the rest of that story. It can happen. And yet, tonight, all I hear is LeBron's out of gas. He's holding his shorts. He's bending over. He's hands on his hip. What? This is preposterous. I thought this was the fittest athlete we've ever seen, the best conditioned, the smartest. He spends, $10 million a year on his body. Great. I can see it. He looks great in the weight room. But how can you run out of gas in basketball games when Michael Jordan 6 times led the playoffs in what's called usage rate, which means 6 times he had the ball in his hands more than anybody in the whole playoffs because he was a scoring machine, and it took a lot of effort and a lot of energy because 10 times he led the whole NBA in scoring. 10 scoring titles for Michael Jordan, only 1 for LeBron. Only once has LeBron led the playoffs in usage rate. For that matter, 8 times Michael Jordan led the whole regular season in usage rate. Scoring machine. LeBron only once has led the regular season in usage rate. So don't give me carrying a heavy load. 14 times LeBron's had teammates make the All-Star team. Kevin Love's a perennial All-Star. Only 6 times Michael Jordan had teammates who made the All-Star team. And it was Scottie Pippen every time, 6 times. But that last year at age 34, remember LeBron's now 33, at age 34, Michael Jordan made first-team all-defense for the 9th time. It's 9-6 over LeBron in first-team all-defense. LeBron's highly capable of playing defense. He was the initiator on defense in Game 3 and Game 4. And I could just tell right away tonight, he was just lethargic. His team looks to him to establish, to lead the way, to say, this is how we're going to do it tonight. We're going to play with energy and urgency on defense. I'm going to be in full attack mode every time down on offense, and I'm going to break down their defense by getting in the lane and get to the rim, and then maybe I'll kick it to shooters for open threes. Tonight, especially in the fourth quarter, LeBron mostly just stood out on the perimeter and went Lonzo Ball. We've seen it before. He did it in Game 1 and 2 at Boston, where he just flips passes sort of lifelessly, haphazardly, lacklusterly to the perimeter, and it just makes it so easy to defend. And then on the other end, remember, they finished 29th, the Cavaliers did, out of 30 teams in overall team defense because LeBron had such a terrible year on defense. You're telling me he's the GOAT? The GOAT. LeBron was the GOAT of this game, and I'm talking about lowercase, one word, G-O-A-T, GOAT, as in animal goat, as in you were the reason, the biggest reason they lost. And I know it's going to happen. JR is going to take the fall, and George Hill he'll take the fall. What were they, 2 of 11 combined? That's the starting backcourt for Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. We'll check out what the starting backcourt for the Boston Celtics did. Terry Rozier and Jaylen Brown went like, I don't have it right in front of me, I think they were like 3 of 15 and 4 of 15. Check that out. Is that all that much better or worse? That could be worse. Some people's book, not that much better than the 2 for 11 of the Cavs starting backcourt. Boston somehow shot 38% and won the game going away. How can that be when the best player in the world, quote unquote, is playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers? And then I have to watch LeBron, shrewd operator, media savant. I had to watch him go over to the bench, and instead of sitting with his teammates, he camps at the end of the scorer's table and sits on the end of the scorer's table sort of near the coaching staff. And he knows the camera's on him, so he takes a bottle of water and he drains the whole bottle of water. Glug, 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 glug. On camera. Beautiful. ABC caught it right on, or ESPN caught it right on schedule. And the message sent to the blind witnesses, to all the gullibles out there in LeBron land, is, I was dehydrated tonight. Maybe we'll hear he was cramping. I didn't see him limp. I don't know. Checked himself out at Game 7 against Indiana at home. Just checked himself out. Walked, it looked like to me, all the way up the tunnel to the locker room. I didn't see him limp. I didn't see any signs of cramps. I don't know. I was told back in the 2014 San Antonio-Miami series when LeBron obviously was with the Heat. Remember, he cramped in Game 1 at San Antonio, and did they turn off the air conditioner or not, the air conditioning, or not pay their bills? I have no idea what happened, but only one player on the court that night cramped, and it was LeBron James, and he visually cramped all over the court. And yet I was told by a very inside, well-placed Miami Heat source, who I've been close to for many years in my career, that the training staff had found that LeBron cramped under pressure, that stress would cause him to physically cramp. Okay? Is that what happened in Game 7 against Indiana? And then Kevin Love saved the whole season for the Cavaliers, because while LeBron was gone for those 5 clock minutes, basketball clock minutes, Kevin Love made 2 huge threes and a mid-range jump shot. And the lead went from only Cavs by 1 to Cavs by 12. And the game was basically over when LeBron returned from the locker room. He's over there eating oranges on the bench as if he's cramped. I have no idea. I don't get it. This is a great player. This is one of the all-time greatest. But I question the intangibles, the guts. I don't know. How can you get tired? Then he talked openly about getting tired, and he had a quote the other day to The Athletic, I believe, where he said, I'm number 1 in the NBA in being tired after games. Why? How? Doing what? Did you see Chris Paul play defense last night for 4 quarters on Golden State? You don't think he was tired after the game? And offense, obviously, as the point guard? You don't think James Harden and P.J. Tucker were tired, and Trevor Ariza? You don't think they just played their asses off on both ends of the floor? My God, what are we talking about here? He's only 33. And this is the first time LeBron has ever played all 82 games. First time in his career. Michael Jordan played all 82 9 times. Interesting. So, LeBron did play the most minutes in the regular season and the most minutes he has so far in the playoffs. Well, whose fault was that? Is that the coach's fault? I mean, to me, LeBron makes the biggest coaching decisions. Obviously, Ty Lue makes some, but they're like co-head coaches. And if LeBron doesn't want to come out of the game, he's not coming out of the game. And if he wants to come out as he did tonight at odd points, he just takes himself out of the game. Well, so it was his choice to play that many minutes during the regular season. And to me, he's just stat building, stat stuffing. That's fine. Nobody can stuff the stat sheet better than LeBron James at 6'9", 270. Just a tremendous force of a basketball player, obviously. Had the best offensive year of his career. I thought he was playing at the highest offensive level of his career. And yet, I think he's realized that he can't catch 6-0 Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals with 6 MVPs. He's LeBron now 3-5, looking up at Golden State, or maybe it's going to be Houston. I don't know. And he just realized, I've got to do it with longevity stats. He's now played the most minutes of anybody in the history of the playoffs. Well, is that a reason to be tired? Because Michael Jordan, again, at 34, 1 year older than LeBron is now at 33. Just look at Michael's last game in Chicago, Game 6. It was do or die because Scottie Pippen was sick, and they weren't even sure he could make it through that game, let alone the Game 7 that would have also been in Utah in the 2-3-2 format. And Michael Jordan in that last Game 6, the closeout game for the Bulls, he scored 45 of their 87 points and obviously led the game in usage rate. 45 of 87. Scottie managed 8 points. I think Kukoc had 15 points. And Michael led all players on either team with 4 steals, including the huge one late, snaking behind Karl Malone, stealing from him, dribbling all the way up the floor. Scottie on the wing, with his hands out like, I'm open. And Michael said, nah, I got this. Little slick push off Brian Russell. That's how they played the game in those days. Nobody's going to call that. And free throw line jump shot, hold the pose. 87-86 Chicago Bulls. Make or miss on that shot. Win or lose. You miss it, you lose. And you just might be losing Game 7 without Scottie Pippen at all. You just might. Okay? That took high energy. 45 of your 87 points. I was around Michael Jordan. I covered the team. Nobody ever talked about Michael being tired. I mean, what next? Are we going to hear that LeBron is suffering? That's probably the next story. He's suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome. He's been diagnosed and blah, blah. I don't know. I just can't get it through my head that the greatest conditioned athlete ever, Iron Man, as LaShannon, my partner on Undisputed, again, 9:30 to noon Eastern on Fox Sports 1, is always telling me he's got vibranium. Okay, great. An endless supply of vibranium. Where was it tonight? Did he couldn't get it through security? I don't know. I just can't imagine LeBron James getting tired in a basketball game that's the 5th game in a potential 7-game series against an inferior team that you're favored to beat. It's unfathomable that right away you could see LeBron was lifeless and listless on defense, and then on offense he would occasionally attack, but he just didn't seem to care, and he's sending the constant message throughout the game to his teammates, I'm not taking it that seriously. Careless, haphazard passes that resulted in turnover. I forgot to look what he totaled. Did he have 6 total turnovers? Could have had 7. But these are just careless passes where you just don't care. It just looks like you're out of it, and your effort, your energy, your urgency, you left it back in Cleveland. And it got so bad at, the 9-minute mark of the third quarter, and I immediately tweeted about it. LeBron James spins in the lane when no defender can keep him from the glass. He spins and shoots this sort of, I don't know, maybe it was kind of a hook shot, but it was really just a left-handed shot. A left-handed shot that hit nothing. He airballed from about 8 feet maybe, right from the middle of the lane. He shoots a left-handed air ball. Do you realize what message that sends to your teammates? I'm just not into it tonight, guys. I'm not taking this seriously at all. No big deal. I'm sure LeBron's just going to sit at the podium tonight and say, I have zero concern. That's what he said after game 1, after game 2. Zero concern. I'm losing no sleep over this. Okay. Do I still think the Cavaliers could win this series? Sure I do. They got the best player in the world. Boston's overrated. They're just a spunky young team with a couple of crafty, wily veterans and Marcus Morris and Al Horford. I don't know. They got a pretty good coach, but he's done nothing yet. Brad Stevens. I guess he left his genius behind. He forgets to pack his genius when he goes to Cleveland. I don't know. So can Cleveland win Game 6? Surely they can win Game 6. They just had their way with Boston in 3 and 4. And so is LeBron capable of just going off on Boston in Game 7? Sure he is. He's done it in that building, countless times, huge times, epic times. Game 6, what year? I'm losing track of which year it was. Let's see, he had the all-time superstar meltdown, 2011 in the NBA Finals, first time around with the Heat at Dallas. Just chosen one turned frozen one in games 4, 5, and